All right, how to change the teeth on my Abbriata M50 mini baler. It's made in Italy, so that tells you something right there. It's all millimeter. There's a 17 millimeter bolt right up here, and there's a nut. Actually, that's the nut. The bolt comes through right here on the bottom, right there. And it's got this little weird round carrier that slides back and forth freely. The trick is that goes between 4 sets of teeth, but you and I know we don't want to take off all those parts just to get to that one tooth. So if you bend this, scoot this all the way to the side, you'll see that they have flared the end. It's on the same on both sides. You just reach in there with a hammer, or I used a punch and a walking pliers, and I squeezed it down, and then you can slide the whole thing to the side and slide that one broken tooth off and put it back on. Now that works great since my tooth is the end tooth, but if your tooth is number 2 or number 3, that means you have to take off 2 teeth minimum to get to it. So you'd have to take off another set right here, or always take 2 of these off instead of just the one on the end. So if you're doing just the end pieces, you could do the 1, but if you're doing 2 or 3, you'll have to take 2 off. And these are just held on with an Allen short bolt up here. There's 2 of them, and then on the bottom there's 2 bolts on the back side. Not too bad, except for make sure your Allen head is cleaned out with all the mud and dirt. And even then, I had to grind one off because I couldn't get the damn thing out. I'm going to tear this apart a little bit, and then I'll start again. All right, I got the first broken piece off. You can see I had to finally clamp that tube because it moves back and forth, so I could hammer against that broken piece and kind of get it over the end. I thought I had that pretty smooth around on the end, but I kept clipping a little piece. So now I'm going to take that nut off, that'll anchor. Then you have to drive the bolt out. Okay, you got to get the bolt even with that shaft right here, with this shaft, so that that piece of spring steel can slide off. Then you can slide the new piece over, and then you can drive that bolt back through. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the bolt back into that spring steel and anchor down. Okay, so get the nut off. Okay, I'm gonna push that down. Of course, it won't go because that'd be way too damn easy. So the pinch point underneath here with these 2 bars, so they kind of overlap, and that nut just really wants to get bound up right there. It's really annoying. Okay, and so I'm gonna slide. There's a little bend right here where my finger is. See that kind of bend? I'm gonna take that, slide this bad boy down. I'm gonna turn that, maybe. I like to turn that centerpiece and get it lined up with that nut. I'm gonna have to get my wrench out and get it lined up right there, and then that should give me a little clearance space that I can tap on the back of that bolt and get it flush on the back side so that I can get that spring off. Okay, I got it off. What a pain in the ass. So you'll notice you have to take the bolt totally out. Okay, and the reason for that is, sorry, you get the right one. You have to take the bolt totally out, or you can't get the broken piece off or the new one on. So you got to slide the new one on, which I have here somewhere. Make sure you get the teeth pointed in the right direction, which in this case happens to be up. Okay. And then you slide that bad boy in there. Now, it will fit. I just see I've got a little bit of a gap right there. I need to slide that over another 1/4 inch or 4 millimeters, whatever you want to call it. And so I can get this in, so I can get that on. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, I got it on. But you'll notice it's kind of hanging out in there in the midair. And that's because you've got to, now that you slid that bar all the way over, you got to slide that bar back. So that you can get that piece on now. Now it goes on. Now I still got to slide it a little more. There it goes. So now I got to try to get that bolt through there, but I'll probably flare the end before I stick the bolt through. Who knows? Last time I actually flared the end before I got the bolt on. This time I think I'll put the bolt through and then flare the end. But don't forget to flare this end right here again that you squish down so that this piece of metal stays inside there, okay? Okay, to get that end flared while you got it in there, see I got it on, I just got to bolt it in, new bolt. I come back here and I clamp that so it can't slide back and forth. Now I'm going to reach down in here and just flare that end out. Okay, then I'll roll it. So I'm going to work on that. Okay, got the flare done. Then all you have to do is reinstall the guide piece, 2 bolts on the bottom, and then the 2 hex head screws on top, and you're done.